Good morning! It's drive time with Dave. I'm Dave. I'll be your driver. Just when you thought you were safe to go back in the car. Oh, I was making a Jaws reference there. Okay, so for all of you that watched the live stream last night, it was quite the party. It was quite the party with Lindey Glenn and the Rockstarflipper. I had a bunch of good questions that I have not addressed over the last few days. They were a bunch of one-offs, as I've explained, so sometimes it's difficult for me to keep track of all the one-offs. So I'm going to do my best now to answer any of those one-off questions. Have I ever had to deal with employees stealing? Yes. Yes, I have. And amazingly enough, I didn't find it as uncomfortable as you might think. It's more of a, hey, you're fired. Oh, and there's a police officer standing outside waiting to talk to you. So, there's no like, we're going to prepare for it. There's no nothing. And if you even suspect it, listen, unfortunately for me, when I suspect something's going on, well, it probably is. And if I'm wrong, well, listen, there's a point where I say, I don't know everything. Most of the time, I don't know anything. And when I am wrong, what I have done is cost someone their job, right? So let's just, I don't know. I think you're stealing. So at that point, I'm not going, well, maybe you're not stealing, right? I either think you are or you're not, and if I think you are, it's because I've had proof. I've looked at a video. You act suspicious. You're doing something. You suddenly have more money than you've ever had. There's a lot of things that I'm looking at. And so at that point, whether I'm right, wrong, or somewhere in the middle, they're done. Because I can't take a chance. Because if I'm right, well, I'm going to be the big loser. And when I'm wrong, well, they're the big loser. As difficult as that is to say and sound, no, I know it's not that cut and dry. But there is a point where it is the money that you've spent, and whether it's your best friend, which, let me just say from experience, money creates more jealousy than anything in the whole wide world. Just Dave's opinion. That's all I can say about that. I've had a lot of friends that worked for me for a lot of time, and systematically, everybody's version of what I'm about to explain is going to be a little different, right? When you get to work and you clock in and you proceed to go eat your lunch on the clock, or you go outside and you talk on the phone for 30 minutes, that is stealing. You are stealing time. I am paying you for something that is not your job. You are stealing money. Now, everybody's opinion about that is different. A little bit of that I can understand. And I try to be very understanding. But now, let's say you have an employee that every morning they come to work and they clock in, and then they bust out their snack bag and they sit at their work area and they have them a little snack. 15 minutes. And then they're done with their snack, and then they go to work for a little while, and then, well, we're in a no smoking facility. So 30 minutes, 45 minutes, because they had their snack. It's not very long. Now they're going to go outside and they're going to smoke. 5 minutes. And I come back in. And we work about another hour, and then they go back outside. Let's just say they're outside smoking 5 times a day. Okay? I know that doesn't sound crazy, because a lot of people that smoke are like, well, I smoke 3 cigarettes a day while I'm at work. All right, so they take their little 10-minute break. They go smoke 3 times. Somebody told me that my math is a little skewed. So I'm just going to go with 10, 20, 30. 3 times, 30 minutes. Snack in the morning, 15 minutes. 3 smoke breaks, 45 minutes. That is not what I am dealing with. I'm dealing with people that smoke 5 times a day, 6 times a day. I counted one day a guy go outside 10 times. Between 5 and 10 minutes each. He spent almost an entire hour just smoking. Now that we've decided your employee is smoking 3 times a day, and they take a little snack break in the morning and on the clock, that's 45 minutes. 5 days a week. I'm going to round it up, because at this point I'm not trying to do the exact math, and you guys can tell, like, this. Listen, frankly, this rubs me the wrong way, it rubs you the wrong way, and it gives you a different impression of what it's like to deal with employees. And this is long term. When you first hire somebody, they don't come in doing that, right? This is after they've been there a while, they've been with you for a year, and that false sense of entitlement takes over, and the freedom that they experience by working for a small business, it takes over. I can come and go when I want. Anyway, so off topic. Pull myself real back in. So let's just say, and then throughout the rest of the messing around time, they actually waste an entire hour a day. Out of their 8-hour day, they're actually only working 7 hours. 5 hours a week I'm paying them. That costs me $50 a week. $200 a month. $2,400 a year. Times 22 people. Oh, man. Now we're getting someplace. It is quite possible that your current employee base, or in my case, could be costing $48,000 a year. Everybody with me? Yeah. So, what do you do about it? Well, this all started with a question that I got from a subscriber about dealing with an employee over theft. And I get off on talking about a different path, because it is all theft. And the sooner that we all understand that this is what's going on, and this is why previous video, let's set expectations. Let's make sure everybody knows. We don't want any gray areas, because sadly, when you're the one writing the check, Liz, I don't even have any words, because there is no nice way for me to say all the things that I've experienced, and I don't want to turn anybody against. Oh my gosh, I can never have employees in if that's the case. It's not true. A lot of it you have to learn to accept. But when I'm dealing with someone that's writing the time clock, I still consider that theft. But some of it's an annoyance, and we'll just call it a perk of working for a small business. I do not consider putting anything in your pocket and taking anything from me as a perk. So, now, we're not even talking about the products that I sell. Now, this story, you're going to like this story. I promise you're going to like this story. So, the office manager comes in, and she's like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but we're going through a whole bunch of toilet paper. And I'm like, really? You're tracking that? She goes, well, I mean, I've got monthly averages. I don't know how somebody could determine. As one of my subscribers pointed out, my math may be a little bit skewed. I'm not really sure how you're going to track how much toilet paper we're using, but she's got a really good idea. So I just go, okay, all right, I'm listening. She goes, well, we're going through an excessive amount now. Well, that's okay. All right, well, I'm gonna keep an eye out. I'm a detective at work. Remember, when I go to work, I'm not actually doing anything. I'm detecting. That's it. I go around, I stick my nose in everybody's business, I see what's going on. So, it took me about a week of detecting to determine that I had an employee that was actually taking a complete pack of toilet paper home every week. I don't know. I can't even keep a straight face about this. So not only do I know they're doing it, I caught him. And at the moment I caught him, I actually couldn't address it because I was blown away. I'm like, seriously? You're taking like I don't know how much a pack of toilet paper costs. I'm kind of ashamed of myself right now. I resell, but I don't know how much a pack of toilet paper costs. Well, let's just say, I don't know, it's $6 or $7, I'm assuming. So I go back and I sit down at my desk and I start, okay, so I have to collect my composure. So I go in the controller's office and I'm like, okay, how long has this been going on? Well, you noticed a swing over 6 months. Well, 6 months? And you just now tell me, well, I just want to make sure there's not some bug. What? A bug that's lasted like, well, you got a lot of people here and anything could happen. Well, you're right. Anything could happen. So we ruled out that there's any kind of a bug going around the office, continuously circulating, I suppose. And 6 months. All right. Okay. Well, so you're talking about basically a pack every week, $7 a week over 6 months. Well, now that seems like a pretty reasonable amount of money now. So I compose myself. I get my little notepad. All right, here we go. So I go down to the employee. I'm like, all right, we got to talk. Of course, the second I say I got to talk, well, everybody knows that's like the key word. All right, come here. We gotta go outside and have a private conversation. Now, I'm always pretty even about that, right? So no one actually ever knows what my intention is going to be because every employee that I have any conversation with, we always step outside. I never talk to anybody where another employee can hear anything going on. I won't say never, because there are very few exceptions to that rule. But that's when, let's just say it's hit the fan, and then there's multiple people involved. All right, okay. So we step outside, and I'm like, hey, listen, now I'm kind of, and this is it right here. I'm actually trying to be serious with this guy. You don't know how hard it is that I have to have a conversation with a guy that you're stealing toilet paper. So I just finally blurted out. I'm like, all right, listen, I know you're stealing toilet paper. And he's like, man, and I'm like, listen, don't even say anything. Listen, this isn't going to be a two-way conversation. And I'm laughing. I'm still like, I can't even stop. I'm like, all right, listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to fire you. Don't take any more toilet paper. And I don't want to discuss this again because I can't compose myself to confront you about stealing toilet paper. Okay? So he's, just go back to work. Don't even talk to me about it. I don't even want to know. Don't even want to know. I don't want to know the reason. I don't know. Because seriously, I don't think it's possible for someone to justify to me why they're taking toilet paper. I don't know. Right. Okay. So go back to work. That's it. Don't even say a word. Just don't even look at me. Don't even look at me. Because every time I look at you, you're a toilet paper thief. Who can say that with a straight face? I can't. You're a toilet paper thief. I can't do it. It's ridiculous. All right. So he goes back to work. About 3 days go by. Comes over, knocks. I don't know why everybody does it, but they come over and they knock on my door. My door is open to my office, and they knock, tap, 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 on the door frame. I'm like, yes, come in. You know, he goes, I want to say thank you. And I immediately go, well, you're welcome for all that toilet paper. And he's like, you know, I was actually just coming in here to say thank you for, you know, not firing me, you know, and I wanted to explain. I'm like, no, I listen, I've heard all the reasons. I know all the reasons. You've made bad choices, you had extra bills, everything's gone wrong, so many problems. You didn't have an extra $7 or $8 a week. You couldn't even afford to buy toilet paper. Or you're a klepto. And he's like, oh, man. I'm like, listen. It's fine. It's not fine. Please don't let me catch you again. Because, you know, the reality of, you understand that you put yourself in a position to lose your job over toilet paper. I'm like, I'm so blown away. Go back to work. Just go back to work. Don't even talk to me about it anymore. Right? And we're going to fast forward like 6 months. 6 months go by, and in comes the office manager. So, Dave. I'm like, yes. So we got another situation. What now? Well, we're going through a lot of paper towels. All right. I don't even need to spend a week investigating here. I go to the guy, listen, because I told you not to take toilet paper. He goes, it's not me, man. But, he goes, I do have some news. I actually noticed it. So, I've been watching. Oh, so you're actually trying to help catch the paper towel thief. So I've got a man on the inside now. See, I've converted him over. I've got a snitch. I got a snitch on the inside. So my snitch proceeds to explain that he doesn't think anyone's taking paper towels. We're just using an extraordinary amount. It's like all of a sudden everybody's continuously washing their hands. I go, well, I got to investigate. So I launched my week-long investigation. As it turns out, nobody was leaving the building with paper towels. Everyone's just actually washing their hands more. But all the things as a small business owner that no one tells you in small business school is that you have to provide toilet paper for all of your employees and paper towels and hand soap. And all these things cost money. And when you're spending $500-600 a month on toilet paper and a few $100s on paper towels, and you're buying hand soap by the cases, you start realizing that you're spending $800-900 a month on toilet paper and paper towels. That's right. Welcome to Small Business 101 with Dave. I'm like, man, if somebody to tell me I was going to have to spend upwards of $900 a month for people to be able to go to the bathroom, I may have reconsidered what I was doing to myself. But it's actually kind of funny, and it's small in the grand scheme of things. It goes back to, as a small business owner, some of the things that you have to deal with are out on the fringe, and you gotta have a sense of humor about it. And a lot of people don't. Plenty of companies out there that someone could work for wouldn't put up, well, you know what? They're going to, oh, well, you know, if somebody will steal toilet paper, they'll steal anything. Well, I also have to look at it like, listen, I was that guy, and I didn't have anything. And I wasn't going to steal toilet paper, and I won't say I wasn't tempted, because my life was incredibly difficult. And so, when those situations arise, I have to look at it from, what is the motivation? But I also have to say, listen, I know I'm writing you a paycheck, but that's only part of it, because on the other side, I don't know what's going on at home. I have no idea. You know, is there family problems? Then he starts explaining that he had a sick cat. He's a cat lover. He's got, it's a ridiculous, like 6 cats. That's a lot of cats. And he had a sick cat, and he had to spend money on a vet bill, and then he couldn't afford toilet paper. And I'm like, well, I'm very sorry to hear that. I have a very open door policy at work. If any of my employees have a problem, I say, please come and tell me, and I can give you, I loan my employees money, right? And typically what I'll do is I loan them, you know, they need $500 or something, or $1,000, and we take it out like $50 a week on a repayment plan. It keeps everybody in check. It makes things easier for them. And those are just some of the things that I personally do. Not all business owners would do these things, but I do because I don't want my employees in a position where they're going to have to steal toilet paper. Or if an employee comes and they go, you know, I'm having a really hard time, things have changed, my wife, you know, lost her job, or they downsized, or whatever the reasons are, I may have to get a part-time job. Well, then that's going to affect me. You having to get a part-time job is a direct effect on your productivity that I'm faced with. So what can I do? Is my question. Do you need to work extra hours? I'd rather pay you to work extra hours than have to deal with, well, I have to, here's my new schedule, this is what my part-time job's doing to me. You come in and you're tired because you worked late. I have policies in place to try to help employees when so that doesn't happen, basically. So if you're tired, I don't actually want you to come to work tired because you're not productive, and I'm paying you to work at half speed. I'm paying you full pay for half speed, and that's not what it's all about. I need you to be on point. So typically if I see that, when I go through every day, I can see when somebody's tired, and I'll stop and talk to them, see what's going on. Monday night, or I'm going to talk about something I don't know anything about here. It's Sunday night football, Monday night football, whatever those nights are. It doesn't matter whether it's that sport or any other sport that are on 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. When it causes people to stay up, and then they come in that next morning, and I'm like, oh, you know, apparently there's something's going on. What's going on? Is this going to happen again? Because if it's going to happen again, I'm going to recommend that you don't come to work that day. Well, I can't afford to miss work. It's every time that's the answer. Well, I can't afford to miss work, Dave. Well, I can't afford to pay you for your level of productivity because you're tired and you can't focus, and you're worried about going at lunchtime and going and taking a nap. Can't do that. These are some of the problems that you're faced with when you go from being a reseller to a small business. I'm Dave, and this was Drive Time. I'm just the driver. I'll see you soon.